Welcome to the Week 11 preview of the Amateur Hour. I'm joined by the Week 10 Pick'em winner, Taylor Mcdowell. Excellent win. She's been playing 2 years, always second, third. Finally got the win this week out of 26 people. So thanks for coming on, Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to lead right in with your lock of the week?
Starting off hot this morning. Yeah, I looked at the games last night after I secured the win. And I think the one that stood out to me the most is actually the Dallas Cowboys minus 10.5 now this morning at the Panthers. So I'm going with the Cowboys, even though
Oh
usually when they have
no.
big lines, they half the time screw me and half the time don't. But
All right, John, you're gonna have to go next.
Okay. Yeah,
I also like the Cowboys.
I like that
yeah,
one too. Yeah, after that 40-point whooping of the Giants, I think the Lions or the Panthers are definitely like the other worst team in the NFL. So
yeah.
I like that pick a lot. I will take I'm gonna do it. I really like the story. I like how it's been working out for him after the coaching change, and I'm gonna go with the Raiders plus 12 at the Dolphins. That's a little dangerous because they ran up 70 points on the Broncos, but I think the offense looks a little better. They're running the ball through Josh Jacobs more, and it'll probably be hard to keep up, but I think maybe they can keep it within 10.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
playing defense.
Both of those are good picks. Yeah. I think 12 points in the NFL, I mean, that's a lot of
Tough.
points.
Mhm.
And the Raiders are a more competitive team than the Carolina Panthers, and the Cowboys are a better team than the Miami Dolphins, I think. So I like that spread, Taylor. I think the Cowboys are going to destroy. This is one of those games where Amanda Wiedemeyer is going to go onto her sports book and spread the line to like minus 28, I think. And I think it's probably going to cash, knowing her. So I am going to go with. I don't really love anything this week, but I'm going to go with. Sorry, listeners. This is pretty pathetic here. Let's go Houston Texans -4 against Arizona. They're at home. Arizona's pretty bad. They do have Kyler Murray back, so that's what makes me nervous about that. They were scrappy this week, but Houston can put up a lot of points. And Carolina or Arizona, I don't know if can keep up with that at this point. And Houston's defense was pretty decent. I was surprised they somewhat held the Bengals in check at home in Cincinnati. So I'm gonna go Houston. Like you said, coaching change. D'Amico Ryans has brought in a quick change in culture there. Brought in an aggressive defense, and the offense is playing really well with TJ Stroud. So I'll go Houston Texans -4 at home.
Thank you, Dave. I like that. That one also caught my eye. And then I remember they had Kyler Murray back. And did they win that game against the Falcons
Yeah,
this
I
week?
got shafted. I had the Falcons money line. I took live money line like plus 200. And Kyler Murray, I don't know if you saw it. It was like towards the end of the game. It was like
That
third
that
and 10,
scramble?
scrambled for like 30 yards, and they ended up like kicking the game-winning field goal.
Oh boy.
There
Um,
was a lot of games this weekend that were ended on like a last second field goal as time expired. It was insane. Like
yeah,
even all the way down to the Monday Night Football game.
exciting games this week,
Yeah,
this past
good
week.
games.
Um, Taylor, do you want to give us your fantasy stud of week 11?
Yes. Kind of tough. But I think I picked him up a couple weeks ago in my league here. I'm gonna do Tank Dell
Yes.
on
Oh
the
my God,
Texans. He stepped
Taylor.
up big for me this
This
last
is
week when I had AJ
unbelievable.
Brown on bye and Jefferson still on IR. So
So you got so Tank Dell, yeah, he's been averaging, I'm gonna check real quick, but he's been like he's been consistently putting up at least 12 points in PPR formats.
yeah,
I know,
he's been doing good. And Nico
and he,
Collins was out last week. I'm not sure what that injury is gonna look like this week again, but should help him out.
oh yeah, and he's a little guy, 5'10", 165. Yeah, 19 points this past week, 30 points in week 9. He's had some pretty good games the past 2 weeks, so I like that pick a lot.
We had the same lock and the same fantasy player
That's
of the
probably not
week.
good, David, because you generally don't do as
No,
well.
I
I don't
generally
know
don't do very
if you're
well.
gonna have a
And
good week or I'm gonna have a bad week this week. I
the
don't know.
lock makes sense to me, but to have the same exact fantasy player is disgusting out of all the NFL players in the league. Okay. John, who do you
Do you
got?
need oh okay. I'm gonna go with a player from my home team and I will take Romeo Doubs. I think that in order for the Packers to stay in the game with the Chargers, they're gonna have to put up a lot of points, and maybe they probably won't, but in case they do, Romeo Doubs has been the favorite target because Christian Watson, love the guy, but he's just plays a little soft. He's a young man, so he has time to work, but he's not been impressive. So I'm gonna go with my boy Romeo. Romeo, where art thou? Dave, you got one?
Sure. Yeah. I'm gonna go Courtland Sutton on the Broncos against the Vikings on Sunday Night Football. It's in Denver. The Vikings defense is still not very good. The offense has been scoring a lot of points with their new quarterback with Doubs out. They've been playing well with Kirk Cousins out, surprisingly. So I'm going to go on the other side of the ball with Courtland Sutton. He gets a lot of volume, which I like. He had an incredible touchdown on Monday Night Football, if you saw that, with the toe drag. So I'll go stick with the hot hand and Courtland Sutton.
Good pick. All right, Taylor, now let's do your introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, who you root for, what's going on in your world.
Sure. Yeah. Formerly Taylor Schwebke, as of just changed that about a couple months ago. Got married in June to Bill, who was on the show a couple weeks ago with his win. I'm from the Chicago area. I grew up about 30 miles outside of the city. Huge Bears fan, unfortunately, but diehard, no matter what. Went to school at Drake. I'm a pharmacist in Iowa City now. Work for Mercy, Iowa City, which is now going to be the University of Iowa East Campus or whatever, coming up here. And yeah, that's about it.
I saw that. I was worried about you when I saw Mercy went like bankrupt or something in the area.
Yeah.
So, but University of Iowa swept in and said we can't lose Taylor, so we got to buy this place out.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
So, are you going to be a state employee now?
Yeah.
That is nice, actually.
The benefits and stuff are going to be nice. Yeah.
That kind of worked out, actually. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that when Andre had told me that they were buying it. I didn't even think that you guys would be state employees now. So congratulations on that. A lot of people work all their life and never get to do that.
Yeah, that worked out well for you.
Hopefully
and you got this $100 winnings coming your way. It's like a Christmas bonus.
Oh man, that's a big Thanksgiving, big November
exactly.
for Taylor.
It's gonna pay for dinner. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys do? We want to talk about the Bears? Can we talk about the Bears? That was a pretty big win on Thursday Night Football, I think, for the upcoming draft picks, right?
Yeah, it really switched it. It kind of shuffled things around, but it was huge for the Bears in the fact of Carolina getting the number 1 overall pick. So it hurt the Bears a little bit because they bumped down to 5, I think. But overall, it's a better thing for the Bears because it knocks the Panthers down to 1. And it kind of just helps with the Bears' overall culture. I think just like losing over and over and over and over and over is really just like defeating the players. So if we can get a couple wins rolling here at the end of the year, I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to hit my over 9.5 wins bet that I put at the beginning of the season. But to get a couple wins here at the end of the year is going to be important for the Bears' future going forward. So I like the win, go in with a backup quarterback and play decent, I guess, on Thursday Night Football prime time and get the win.
Yeah, Taylor, I'd like to hear your perspectives on like the personnel the GM has in place. Do you think they're going to stick with Justin Fields? Will they draft a new quarterback? What do you expect? What do you want?
I mean, it's not any of the players' fault. It's the horrible ownership being cheap asses on these coaches. Where the hell does Matt Eberflus come out of? Like, the Indianapolis Colts defense, was that just like the world's best defense last year and everybody was sleeping on him? Like,
get hired in the first place.
No, I mean, he shouldn't have never gotten hired. Yeah, I mean, and then he brought over all of his thug friends from the Colts, and half of them gotten fired already this season. Defensive coordinator and the running backs coach for inappropriate conduct or whatever the hell they're doing at Hallis Hall. I mean, just horrible decision. So what I ultimately want is really just a new coach more than anything. I'm hoping Harbaugh is going to leave Michigan.
Ooh.
However, I heard something last week that him and then the Bears CEO is the old Big Ten head of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
What's his name? Is Warren, I think.
Yeah.
And I guess they weren't very friendly before in the Big Ten. So I don't know if that's going to affect it, but I'm glad the Chargers are winning. I'm glad the Raiders are winning. Like, I don't want them to fire their coaches. Like, I don't want Harbaugh to be tempted to go because I think those are, well, at least the Chargers job is a better job than the Bears job. But I think it just the coach means like so much in football, and just have this no name like idiot defensive guy is just never going to help us.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's got to start with the coach. I'm okay with the GM. Like, I think Ryan Poles has done a pretty decent job, but like, I'm worried that they're kind of buddy buddy. So he's going to keep like Eberflus around, and if we win a couple games toward the end of the year, they're going to say, well, the momentum is shifting. We need to, Eberflus was in a press conference with Hard Johnson talking about how they were 2-2 in the last 4 games. It's like, dude, this is Chicago Bears. Like, we're supposed to have like a winning culture, and we've just been turds the last like decade. So it'd be nice to get a new coach in there like Harbaugh. I mean, that's like the pipe dream for Bears fans, I think. Like, he played for the Bears. It makes sense for him to come back. He did a really good job in the NFL the first time for the 49ers. I think he could be successful, in Chicago, changing culture there. It'd be nice to have, Connor Stallions. We'll cheat a little bit if that's what it takes to get a Super Bowl. I'll cheat a little bit. I don't care.
Yeah, bring him in. Let's go.
Yeah, they didn't take the Astros World Series away. They didn't take the Patriots Super Bowls away. Let's cheat a little bit. Come on, let's start getting some wins.
Yeah, I agree. But Jim Harbaugh did get suspended for that, correct?
Yeah, like the last 3 regular season games, which is good. This is all good for the Bears because then it's going to hopefully nudge him towards leaving Michigan.
Yeah, I think
and come.
he's got to be done. Especially he started the season suspended too for some other stuff. So I mean, he's just got to be fed up with the NCAA.
Yeah, they call that a coaching ice cream sandwich. He just suspended on both ends and then coach a little bit in the middle. And, hopefully he's inspired to go change to Chicago because, I mean, the Michigan Wolverines have been winning a lot of games the last couple of years, and like he's done a good job. I think he just has this like chip on his shoulder that he wants to win a national championship in college, but he's done a good job of proving that he can win, and especially in the Big Ten. It's a tough place to play. He beat Ohio State the last 2 years, so that's a huge, thing on his resume. So I'm just hoping he can like say that he has enough on his resume to be done with college for now, at least, and hopefully go back to the NFL where he can try to win a Super Bowl where he fell just a little bit short in San Francisco.
What position did he play for the Bears?
He was a quarterback.
Was he good?
Yeah.
No.
Not really, no.
Oh, no. Better coach.
They had a good quarterback, John? No.
Yeah, they've never had I don't think they've ever had a 4,000-yard passer in Bears history.
The only franchise.
Yeah.
I think there's one coming. Justin Fields is his name.
I thought this year was going to be the year he was on pace for it, and then he got hurt again, so that kind of sucks. Like, I think you had asked Taylor right away just what she thinks of Justin Fields, and I think these next few games, he's supposed to come back this week against the Lions. It's after the mini bye week.
That's a tough matchup, dude.
It is a tough matchup, but I'm glad they didn't rush him back, actually. Like, I think if they rushed him back, then it could have been a problem, but they're like taking their time. He got 10 extra days off to get ready. And these are going to be huge, huge games for him going forward. If he's mediocre, they're going to move on. If he's exceptional, like he was against, the Broncos and the Commanders, then maybe they'll stick with him and we can focus our draft and offseason on other positions and fill the roster. But it's going to be huge for him. I still have confidence in him, though.
I would go as far as to say if he pulls like a miracle game out of his ass and like just plays phenomenally, beats the Lions, I think they're locked in. They say we're going with him next year. Like if he would beat the Lions and lose the rest of the season, I think that would be enough for them.
I don't think so because they have enough time to make that decision, especially if Carolina keeps losing. Like they're not going to be like gun to the head. What do you do about Fields? So like he has 8 more weeks, or they have a bye coming up. So 7 more weeks of games to like really prove himself. So I do agree, like it's going to help his stock if he plays really well against the Lions. But if he sucks the last, 6 after that, it's going to be hard to stick with him, unfortunately.
And this is his 3rd year?
This is his 3rd year. The offensive line is finally healthy. We got, obviously DJ Moore has been playing well. So I'm looking forward to getting him back, seeing what he can do. Defense is playing a little bit better. I mean, if you look at last year, the Bears are putting up like 27 points a game or something like that, but they're giving up like 30. So they're just like their defense was just getting killed. And Justin Fields played well, but they couldn't keep up with the scoring. And now this year, the defense is finally starting to figure it out. So maybe the Bears can do enough on offense to win a couple games down the stretch.
Did you guys? I did not catch the Monday night game. Can you give me a quick recap?
Taylor, thoughts?
It was pretty terrible, but it was well for me. I really didn't sweat the cover at any moment. Josh Allen, turnover machine, strikes again.
How many?
He had 3 turnovers, I think. Fumble and 2 picks.
Wow.
Yeah. Most of the NFL, I think, since like 2018 or whenever he started, most turnovers.
Yeah, so.
And Russell Wilson didn't play bad?
And he didn't play good, but he didn't lose the game. He had like 165 yards or something. and a lucky
Yeah.
touchdown to Courtland Sutton. Like,
Doesn't blow you out of the water, but he was a game manager, and yeah, the Bills just turned the ball over way too much.
yeah.
That was basically the game summary right there.
Okay.
And then at the end of the
I
game,
thought the missed kicks were going to screw me. The Broncos missed 2
oh
extra
yeah,
points.
like dropped the snap on the extra point or whatever,
He
and
doinked the first one.
doink the first one. And then at the end, he misses the game-winning field goal, but then they had 12 men on the field. So they got to kick it again, and chip shot 35-yard or whatever.
It was just
I don't
all
like
working.
that call of hustling the kicker out there last minute, like how they did the knee. They should have just kicked it on 3rd down and rolled him out and not had the Mayday run the kicker around with like 10 seconds trying to kick the damn.
Yeah, that's stressful.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that call, but it didn't work out. They're lucky they got that flag.
So the clock was winding.
So yeah, they need it 3 times, and it's 3rd down. There's like 25 seconds left on the clock, and they did another knee instead of kicking it there or rolling him out and just throwing it away and like giving the Bills like 20 seconds. So the Bills had no time. Like it was a literal last second field goal, but they had to run the kicker out there while time was kicking.
Oh,
it's a decoy.
He technically missed the kick. Like it was like stressful but
they were stressing the defense out, and it worked. That was the plan all along, was stress the defense out.
They're going to do 12 men if we.
And they did that. They did that same strategy before halftime. They ran the kicking team out, and they made it. So then they were like, "Oh yeah, this is our play. This is our play right here. The sprint out the kicker is the play."
I don't understand how these NFL teams get these odd men penalties on these place kicks, because if you're on the team or not. Like you either are on the field goal block team or you're not. Like, why are you on the field?
Yeah.
I don't understand how they mess that up, like all the time.
Yeah, and they only have like 50 coaches on the sideline that can help out with these situations. Yeah.
Hey, Rick, you're not in. Get the fuck off. Rick, get off of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a pretty common dumbass penalty.
Dude, yeah, it's crazy when you watch NFL how much like those extra points and the little stupid shit like that affects the spread. I mean, so like for instance, the Packers I watched, they missed an extra point. And they could have pushed it in overtime if they hadn't missed that. I saw the film on it, and this Josiah DeGara, he's like this 3rd or 4th year tight end for the Packers, was supposed to be blocking on the left-hand side. He just let 2 guys run by him. He never even it looked like he was frozen there. It was like crazy. And then they blocked the extra point. And I'm like, how are these guys professional athletes and can't at least touch someone as they're running by? Just like a little shove a different direction. But yeah, those spreads really get affected by dumb shit like missed extra points, missed field goals, little 5-yard penalties, and it pushes the field goal back to a 50-yarder,
Yeah, it does happen all the time. That's why gambling's hard.
That's why
they don't call it investing. They call it gambling.
Yeah, I'm glad I just do this pick 'em, because you can get fucked so many ways till Sunday,
Yeah, I'm really glad I do the pick 'em. I'm 26 out of 26, so I'm really glad I do the pick 'em.
Well, this is your training, Dave.
Yeah.
Did you have any hot bets that hit this week?
I had one on Sunday Night Football. It saved my day. It was like a parlay of Josh Jacobs and Breece Hall and Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson all over like 65 yards. So they all cashed that. So it was like $5 to win 45 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a wild parlay.
Wild parlay, yeah.
I'm glad it worked out for you.
That's really all I had exciting on the week. Taylor, are you still gambling?
Oh yeah.
Any hot ones? Any big hits?
Yeah, I've had the Sunday the 5th, I hit a bit. I had won $600. I hit a nice little I hit a money line parlay on a couple teams, and then a couple other little stupid props that probably should stop betting. But I had Baltimore, New Orleans, Cincy, Washington, and Indianapolis a couple weeks ago. That won 459.
Damn.
Holy shit.
That's like a 10 unit. That's a 100-unit win for me.
Yeah. Do you do the units?
It's not all good, but I'm up this month. I'm up 780. Last month I lost about the same, so it's about
there
even.
We go.
But at least you're keeping track. That's good. I stopped keeping track. I'm just tired of it.
The Pickit app, Pikkit, it keeps track of everything for you. So.
Oh, Dave, you got to do that, dude, so we can get your stats.
Well,
it tallies your like in progress parlays and keeps track.
I was using have you heard of the Action app?
Yeah, I've never gone on there for betting though.
I was using that, but you have to like manually enter all your bets in, which kind of gets annoying.
Oh yeah, screw this. They just sync it with your books, and so that it
Oh,
just tracks it for you.
all right. I'm gonna get on that. I'm up $53 in the last 7 days.
It's
That's
pretty
pretty
good.
good,
How many units is that?
especially with my unit size. But you never ask a man's unit size, John. So
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, my apologies. What game are you guys looking forward to most? Week 11. It's a bookend of great games. Like great game Thursday night, great game Monday night.
Yeah, I saw this thing on Twitter. It was like, oh, thank God we have these 3 primetime games after the 3 primetime turds we had this past week. And I was like, wow, great game Thursday, great game Monday. But Vikings Broncos is not something to get excited
Yeah.
about for Sunday Night Football. But
Yeah, that's a weird
I
one.
get the idea. Great game Thursday, great game Monday, like bookends, like you said. Taylor, what gets you going this weekend?
So I'm going out of town this weekend. We have one of Bill's cousins getting married in Dallas, so I don't know how much I'll be able to watch on Sunday. But I am intrigued about Thursday because I thought both the Bengals and the Ravens were like really on the rise, like just going to tear up the rest of the season, and they both ended up losing in not a good way. So that'll be interesting to see now that Burrow's been playing better. We'll see if T Higgins, I think, is still out though, so that's going to end up messing them up.
Yeah, that
And yeah, the Chiefs Eagles is going to be good. That'll be a good way to kind of see how good each of those teams really is too at this point, because I think they've had some mostly easy wins so far
yeah.
this season. So
Super
Good
Bowl
litmus test
rematch.
for him. Super Bowl rematch. Yeah, maybe it needs to be a big bet for me. See if I can make my money back from that Super Bowl loss.
Oh,
Sodgate. Okay, so Thursday night game is what Taylor's excited about. John, what what moves the needle for you?
oh, I was gonna have you go next.
Okay, I'll say I'm a little biased, but I'm gonna say I was looking at the slate, kind of shit games in the middle on Sunday.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go Bears Lions division matchup. Bears are getting Justin Fields back, so it's the Bears are kind of on the come up. You know, like Matt Eberflus said, we're 1-1 in our last one, or 1-0 in our last one. We're probably 3-3 in our last 6. I don't know that for a fact. Don't fact check me, but we're hot. The Bears are hot. We're getting Fields back. Tyson Bagent is really boring to watch, so I'm just excited to watch Justin Fields back in that offense. It'll be good for DJ Moore on my fantasy perspectives. Hopefully we'll get Khalil Herbert back soon. The Lions are a tough team, a really tough team. They score a lot of points. Their defense is pretty good, but the Chargers scored a lot of points on them, so the defense showed some vulnerability this weekend. So hopefully the Bears can capitalize on that. I'm excited to watch that matchup on Sunday.
the only way the Bears have a shot is if it was like pouring down rain or snowing, and it's going to be 47 and sunny. So,
And it's in a dome, I think, isn't it, in Detroit?
oh, is it in Detroit? I thought it was at home.
Maybe
If
it's
it's in
in
Detroit,
It is in Detroit.
okay. So we have a shot for the second one. Then we need Bears weather, as my dad says.
We
when
need
it's
Bears
like
weather, yeah.
outside.
I guess I will go with then the Titans Jaguars just because I'll be interested to see how the Jaguars bounce back after that shellacking from the 49ers. I watched a little bit of the replay. I didn't get to watch much of that game, but it sounds like Trevor Lawrence was running for his life. The offensive line didn't do him any favors. I think the tough thing on the Jaguars is they have Christian Kirk. Zay Jones just got arrested, and I think they were expecting Calvin Ridley to be this like alpha wide receiver one, and he's not. He's not.
Herd and fantasy.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss, Dave. He's probably like a good wide receiver too, or a good second or third option. So they really need Christian Kirk or maybe that tight end Evan Ingram to show up if they're going to have success. I know the Titans are. I think they're good against the run, but they've not been so good against the pass. So I just would be interested to see how they respond. To see if they're actually a team that could make a playoff run, if they're like, or if they're capable of losing many in a row to shit teams after getting beat.
Both of those teams are tough to bet on, so I'm gonna stay away, keep my money away from that matchup. They've both been kind of up or down. Tennessee will go out there and blow you out of the water with that game where DeAndre Hopkins had 3 touchdowns and Will Levis debut, and then the very next game people were so high on Levis, and then he just didn't do very well against the Steelers and didn't do very well last week against the Buccaneers. So It's hard. It's hard to predict the Titans. They're kind of up and down, and then the Jaguars just got spanked by the Niners. I mean, they're a tough team. Niners have good defense,
But 3 points.
But the Niners were kind of sliding recently. Yeah. So, and 3 points, that's tough. That's a tough pill to swallow, especially at home. So we'll see how they bounce back.
I mean, like the shit Packers they can put up 17 a game consistently.
Yeah, 3 points is embarrassing. And
Yeah.
first game with Chase Young, though, for the Niners, that's a scary combo with Nick Bosa and Chase Young coming off the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of young quarterbacks. I've been reading a lot about that Sam Howell, and apparently they're like locked, loaded. This is our guy. This is the franchise QB, and they're going with him. I haven't really had a chance to watch him much though.
He's got the most passing yards so far.
Yeah, I don't hate
Does
that.
he?
I think he's shown a lot of promise. Yeah.
So is that him or is that Eric Bieniemy that nobody wants to hire as a head coach?
I don't know. Eric Bieniemy must have some skeletons in his closet or something.
He apparently is just like crazy, like mean to the players and like just coaches super hard. And a lot of people can't take that anymore.
Really?
He's that Chiefs offensive coordinator that went over to Washington.
Yeah, to prove that he can do it like another place because nobody will hire him. I mean, the Bears interviewed him last year, but he's just like uber aggressive, like kind of just turns everybody off kind of guy. But clearly he's good at his job. It's just kind of some of his personality, I guess, doesn't jive with a lot of people.
Well, Matt Eberflus does a great job of turning guys on, I guess, but it's not really doing a good job capitalizing into wins. So
he knows how to stimulate them just right.
But the Commanders, their problem. I have watched a couple Commanders games this year, and I picked up Sam Howell in fantasy after Fields went down, and he's a pretty good quarterback. He's had like one bad week. Other than that, he puts up a lot of fantasy points, puts up a lot of yards, like Taylor said. It's the Commanders' defense, which isn't very good. They have a really bad secondary. You saw like every time they play, the number one receiver exposes them. Like AJ Brown's gone off for like 150 plus both times. DJ Moore went crazy on Thursday Night Football against them, and then they just got rid of two of their best like defensive linemen. So it's kind of a rebuild from a defensive standpoint for the Commanders.
Yeah, I didn't get that because they were like when they
that
did
was the
that
one good thing they had going for them was their like crazy defensive line.
Right, they were 3-5 when they did that, right? And then they traded those two guys away. They win. They're 4-5. Like they could have been in the playoff hunt. I didn't quite understand.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird move, honestly. But I think that it comes with like the fact they just can't extend all those guys. Like they just paid it was a Deron Payne. So it's going to be tough. Like they can't pay Montez Sweat. I'm really glad the Bears extended him. I figured they would. Like you don't make that trade for a second round pick with a guy in an expiring contract if like you're not going to extend him. So that was like a make or break decision for Ryan Poles. I think if they didn't extend him and he left in free agency this offseason, then that would have probably been Ryan Poles' head.
And the Bears got one of those guys, didn't they? Montez Sweat.
Yeah. And they just give him a 4-year, like $25 million a year contract.
Like $25 million.
Yeah.
And he had a decent game against the Panthers, I thought, didn't he?
Yeah, he might not look amazing on the stat sheet, but like he definitely makes like an impact on that defense. Like we had no pass rush before, and now like he's getting to the quarterback, so he's letting like other guys get to the quarterback by their double teaming him. So it reminded me of when we first got Khalil Mack. Like he's just like a game wrecker, game changer type player.
Yeah, I thought that too. When I watched the early Bears games early on in the season, they just need like one person that can consistently beat the offensive lineman who's matched up against them, and they didn't have that.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for you.
Want to talk about the Packers at all? What were your thoughts about that Steelers game? It looked like I didn't see any of the game, but I did cover the spread. I took Steelers -3, so thank you for the missed extra point. Yep. And then that defensive touchdown. Thank God that was called back. I saw on Twitter the clips. It was definitely a backwards pass that they apparently called a forward pass.
Yeah, I saw that. I only saw the second half. We went and had pizza for Carla's birthday, which was like 4 weeks ago, but my parents couldn't make it. So we only caught the second half, but I just wish that I thought Jordan Love looked good. I just wish he wouldn't hyper focus on Christian Watson. He wants to, kind of Aaron Rodgers kind of did that with Devontae Adams. Like it didn't matter if Devontae Adams was one-on-one, he was throwing it to him. Like that's what it was. And he kind of does that with Christian Watson, but Christian Watson is not
He's not Devontae Adams.
No, it should not even be.
And Jordan Love is not Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly. So that's the problem. So I thought the offense honestly looked better when Christian Watson was out, because then he's like, okay, I don't really have anyone that's good. So then he would spread it around, Christian Watson comes back and he wants to do this like feed the stud, but he's not a stud. He shouldn't be in the same paragraph as Devontae Adams.
Do you think Christian Watson is giving him sexual favors in the locker room or something? Or what makes him like look his direction?
Absolutely. I think he's a handsome guy. He's well built. He's athletic. And so I think Jordan Love's like, oh, there's my handsome friend. And he just
You should ask
launches it
Christian
to him.
Watson his unit size.
Probably large, probably bigger than yours and mine, Dave. But yeah, I like Christian Watson. I don't like these are young guys. He's like 23 years old. So I'm not going to sit here and shit on him, but he just plays a little soft. So I wish he would improve that. Like every time the effing ball is coming at him, he's always flying backwards. He's never going towards the ball. I don't know how it works out every time. So that'd be my biggest complaint. And then they can't stop the run, but that's like the Packers defense. If you can run the ball against them, you can beat them.
Yeah, Najee Harris is like one of the worst starting running backs in the NFL, and I get a notification like 2 minutes into the game, he scores a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, just a stud in fantasy this week.
Yeah.
So that is a good tip though for fantasy. If you have a running back that's ever playing the Packers, you put that motherfucker in. Right?
Yeah. Would have said Austin Eckler, but that's not the way we do things around here with fantasy studs of the week. So
that's right. He's gonna ball out.
Taylor, as a Bears fan, how do you feel about Jordan Love?
I don't think he's the guy at all, and so I'm glad the Packers have him. I'm curious what they're going to do. I mean, I watch Red Zone mostly on Sundays, so fourth quarter, they're down 4. You got 2 minutes, and Jordan Love has the ball. Like he's not going to win that game. You just know it. I mean, there's like a 15% chance he's going to go get a touchdown. Like, and that was never the case before. So.
Or Aaron Rodgers, it was 95% that they're going to win the game?
Especially nowadays. I mean, even Russell Wilson can move the ball within minute 40 in 2 timeouts. Like, I mean, you just got to be able to. Pretty much everyone can do it, and I have no faith in Jordan Love. I don't think he's accurate at all with his throws. I also think their coach has been way overrated for years, and it's finally showing that Matt LaFleur is like not as great as when Aaron Rodgers just said, "Screw that play, I'm doing my own thing," and called Devontae Adams shots or whatever he did. So, I mean, the Packers losing gives me great joy, more than when the Bears win, to be honest. So
it's okay,
especially like a big play.
And not to be mean to you, John. You're a very very amicable Packers fan compared to most. So,
but we've had good teams for like 30 years, so we deserve a couple years in the shitter.
It's kind of like
a quarterback, John. You guys are gonna have like maybe number 10 pick or so.
So I'm actually a big Jordan Love guy. I'm a believer.
John said on last week's episode.
I'm glad you are. Keep him.
John said on last week's episode he wants Shedeur Sanders, and now Shedeur Sanders is going back to Colorado, so now he's changing his tune.
That's no, just for a competition, with Jordan Love. I agree with you though, Taylor. When I was watching that 2 minutes left, I was saying to myself, they're not going to do this.
There's no way. There's just no way.
But in your defense, John, Justin Fields has the same problem. Like every time it's a close game at the end of the game, Fields collapses and throws a pick. It's almost inevitable. Yeah.
So I mean, he is. I don't know. Everyone's like, oh, he's been sitting for 3 years, but I don't think you can really replicate game reps that well at practice. It just doesn't feel the same. So I have a bet with my buddy Nick that Jordan Love will be the starting quarterback in 2025. I will say it's not looking too good right now, but I still believe in him. I thought he had some good balls early in the game, and the offense scored a touchdown in the first half for the first time since week 2. So we're on the rise, baby. We're on the fucking rise.
And they looked like the prime New England Patriots week 1 against the Bears. They put up like 40 points.
Yeah.
Opening week, and that was just like I was spiraling on a quick case of depression right there. But
we were fooled.
We've been feeling better now that the Packers have been doing worse. So
yeah. But there's hope. That's the thing about being a sports fan. If you see like your quarterback could throw 3 interceptions, and if they throw a touchdown, you're like, oh yeah, he might be the guy. That's just
you just need that sliver of hope to draw you right back in.
That's all you need, dude. You don't need
it's like a good golf shot. You could shoot 110 on the day, but if you pipe your drive on 18, you're coming back the next week.
Right. I do want to say, I don't know if you guys watched many Packer games last year, but Aaron Rodgers without Devontae Adams was a different creature.
Yeah, but still not Jordan Love.
No, not that bad. No, but I mean, like, it
helps to have like the top 3 wide receiver in the NFL.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is showing his age too. I didn't think he was going to be like outstanding with the Jets either. Like we just haven't gotten to see it. So.
Yeah. Can't be worse than a Zach Wilson though.
Yeah, he was going to be better than him, and with their defense, they were going to win
They just needed him to be like a game manager, really.
God, that defense is so good, isn't it? I mean, I watched that. Who did they play this week?
The Raiders.
They played the prime time, yeah, against the Raiders.
Yeah, that defense is so fucking good, man. And they just cannot do anything on offense. Or they start to do something and Zach Wilson turns it over.
It's terrible to watch. I hate watching Zach Wilson so much. And they have so
Oh.
many primetime games because they thought Aaron Rodgers is going to be there. Oh my God, it's so painful to watch Zach Wilson.
They're
How
gonna
come
start
no one?
switching them
How
up.
come people don't give shit to Zach Wilson and Mac Jones, who are the two most ass quarterbacks in the NFL, but people just ride Justin Fields no matter what he does. Like if he does something bad, people are on him saying he should be a running back, he should be a wide receiver, like he shouldn't be in the NFL. Oh, Ohio State bust. Zach Wilson and Mac Jones are so much worse than Justin Fields, but no one gives them shit for it.
Yeah, it is a little interesting. I gotta go blow my nose. Keep on that thought.
Oh Jesus. But yeah, regarding like Packers fans, Taylor, like you said, I think John is a more mild Packers fan. I would compare like the two, like you have the Venn diagram, right? And on one side you have John Opheim. It's like nice Packers fans, so it has a sprinkle of bias, but also is a realist. And then you have on the other side the complete opposite of Mike Harvey. Mike Harvey, complete psychopath, Packers fan, will scream in your face about the Packers. Sometimes a little bit overly biased. So that's kind of where I compare the two. I don't know. We haven't found anybody that falls in the middle. Have you, at least?
No, not really. Yeah, at least
Yeah.
not in terms of like a real dedicated fan. Yeah, they're pretty polar. Yeah.
They're pretty polarized. Yeah. There's either like someone that really doesn't know a whole lot about them and is kind of a nice, like nice, happy go lucky Packers fan. That's just like kind of like my mom. My mom will go on the side with John Opheim, just not really in your face, just likes to watch the games, likes the hopes that they win the games. And then there's just like most of my friends growing up and Michael Harvey on the other side that are psychos, screaming in your face, completely biased, just completely blind to the realization of this world that we live in.
Yeah, dude, go on Twitter after the Packers lose a game, and you will. I mean, there's like millions of people apparently hiding out there that just are ready to just lambaste every single person in the organization at the drop of one loss, and they're fucking on them.
That's anything though. I look at Bears Twitter all the time. It makes me laugh and it makes me feel better about myself. Like there's always like Adam Rank works for the NFL, like NFL Network, and he always tweets like Bears fans, how we feeling like after a game. It's just hilarious to like scroll through the comments. People are just like, blow up the stadium.
Blow it up. Move the team.
Build the dome.
Oh fuck. Yeah, it's that's the life of a fan. I do feel, I mean, like the Lions, I don't know about you guys. I'm definitely cheering for them though. Like they're going to make the playoffs. They'll be my favorite team in the NFC just because they have had it so difficult. Like,
Yeah,
would you?
we can support the Lions for like a year or two, and then we'll get tired of them too, and then we'll be like down with the Lions. Go back to putting paper bags over your heads. Like, I mean, come on.
But you guys, when was that?
I want to live in the world where the Lions are the worst team in the NFL. That's the world I want to live in. So they're still a division rival. Like I'm not going to root for them to win the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, we got about a minute left. But when was the last time the Bears went on that Super Bowl run or the playoff run with the double doink? With
2018.
That was 2018.
Or 27 was it? Yeah, 18.
So they won what? 2 playoff games?
One. No, they didn't win any. That was a wild card game against the Eagles.
Was
it? Yeah. They should have won. And then the Lions won on a nice run.
The Lions have won like 1 playoff game in 70 years.
I don't give a shit.
They're our quarterback and receiver. That's like Bears have never had that. So
that's true.
Yeah, they had Stafford and Calvin Johnson. That was fun to root for. They had Barry Sanders in the past. Like, I don't know. Like we're the Lions now. That's who we are. We had the first overall pick last year. We're gonna have the first overall pick this year. Like, granted, it's through a trade, but we'll have 2 top 5 picks. Like, we're the Lions. Like, I don't feel bad for the Lions. They should feel bad for me.
Okay. All right, Dave Taylor, give us a send off.
Taylor, send us off.
I get nothing for you guys there, but
Taylor, thanks for coming on. It was great to have you. It's great to see you. Keep up the good work. Keep saving lives. Shout out University of Iowa for saving your job and saving those people.
And congrats on being a state employee. That's massive, dude.
We'll see how it goes.